I'm now live. I love when it says that because my heart always starts racing. I get all scared. Doesn't matter how many live feeds I do. I always think people are going to hate me and they're going to criticize and all that stuff. It's scary. But anyway, so I wanted to talk about, that's Lily playing with her boyfriend. Oh, she's so cute. I'm so glad she lived to fight with her boyfriend. Oh, spin move with Jax. Anyway, so people, when they contact me, one of the things they really like to know is like, where do I start? What do I do? And the best thing I can say is I put out so much free content, like these Instagram stories. Everybody's here. Hi, Steph. Hi, Allison. And articles and podcasts and blogs and all that kind of stuff. And the best thing I can say is, like, is it A to B, C, D? Like, this is exactly what you do. Is it there? No. But most of what I'm doing is there. And I think a big piece, whether it's dogs or business or anything, is self-awareness. And if you can look at the content and not skip the parts that are uncomfortable, not skip the parts that are for you, the things that you enjoy. If you can stay open-minded and be real about the change that you want to have, it's there, right? I mean, I just got a phone call from somebody that, dogs ripping up beds and doing these things. That shit is so easy. What's the first thing I'm going to tell them? What's the first thing I'm going to ask them? Do you guys play toys? And they're going to say yes. Now, I've seen that pattern so many times. Then I start to ask a couple other questions. So if that person read an article and I have that correlation for them, why don't they change it? Because the self-awareness isn't there. Because of, I don't realize that I'm really doing this for me. I mean, who doesn't? Everybody, it's one of the biggest problems we have is us misinterpreting excitement for happiness. Our dog comes home, their butt shakes, they jump on us, they might even bark or whine, and that makes us feel good. It makes us feel loved, but we don't understand what it's making them feel like. That's the kind of dog this dog will attack, because he'll say, that's unstable, I don't need that. Calm down, which is what it should have been anyway if your presence came in. So, so what I did instead of what I usually do, spend an hour on the phone telling people, I sent them to my website and I said, hey, here's 2 articles I want you to read. And, when you read those, get back to me, because it's going to do 2 things. One, it's going to see if they're my ideal client and it's not going to cost me any time. I already wrote the articles. If they're self-aware enough, I think they'll get results. If they need more, they can contact me. And that's why I think it's really important to produce content. A lot of people, this is something if you can have a place to send people that just have an average problem with some content that you've posted, it frees up a lot of your time to help other people too. So if, it's all there. The more questions, the more feedback I get, the more I can help, because I could say like, I didn't think anybody cared about that, or I never even really thought about that because it's not a big deal to me. Like somebody said the other day, like one of my friends was like, well, how do you take your dogs from your car to your house? And I was like, I don't know. I never really thought about it. Like I never thought about it like it was that big of a deal. I just think about owning my environment. So sometimes I open the car, like there's my van. Sometimes I open the door and they just run up into the yard. Sometimes I have leashes on them, so when they get out of the van, they chill. So, it doesn't. I don't have like what I do every time, or I just have that I can control the environment. So if this is what I want now, this is what I want now. So stay on track, Gary. Stay on target, which was I'm doing my best to get everything out that I can in my brain. But if, how do I say this without sound like an asshole? It's kind of like when people say like, oh, Gary, how do I do this? And one of my business mentors says, there's this great website, Google. Did you do that before you contacted me? No? Well, I'm not here to solve your problems. So if you've spent time listening, if you've spent time reading, if you're, like one of the people I mean, I've been doing this 11 years and I still go back consistently and listen to Brandon's podcasts. I still go back to his YouTube channel because every time I do, I learn something new. That takes effort, and it takes me prioritizing that over something else, a music festival, a whatever else, like a, I don't even know, a lights thing at Christmas. Like, you know, that's what most people do. And if you're happy, that's great. But if you're continuing to want the information, sometimes you got to like dig it out yourself. So I'm going to do my best to try to get a little bit more strategic. But, you know, if there's problems, like I'm trying to put out as much as I can. So if you can digest it and be self-aware, it's all right there. But, you know, like we always, we run into times where we need to bounce things off of people, and that's what I'm in for. And that's what I'm going to call my friend Kim's friend Julie right now, because she's getting a dog. This is a person who's getting a dog and reached out to me. Like, this is what everything I want Soul Mutt to be, my foundation, education, and then you'll know. That's why, like in relationships, they say if you know yourself, you can pick a better mate, right? Like until you're happy and you're, you know, start walking and then get a dog. Don't get a dog to start walking, right? So, yeah, man, I don't know. I love everybody so much. I'm trying to help the best I can, and I'm really pumping along. So that's it. Creed, do you have anything to say? Creed's willing to do the work. All right, hope everybody has a wonderful week. If you celebrate holidays, have a good one. If you don't, then just make whatever moment you're living in wonderful. Have a great day.